good one. Hello, welcome to the Five-Side Pod. That's too loud.
That's too loud.
Was it? I thought it was.
Hello. You shut up. Hello, welcome to the Five-Side Podcast. I'm Fergus Smith, and I'm joined by Matthew Thompson.
Evening.
Ross Stewart.
Hello.
Billy Kirkpatrick.
Howdy.
And Craig Gregor.
Evening.
It's the 12th of April, and Prince Philip is dead. And we'll quickly get on with the show. We have 4 games for you after a weekend of action in both leagues, the Premiership and the Championship. And we'll start in Wraith, where they took on Arbroath in a thriller, a cracking game, and I'm sure Bill's watched this one.
Yes, I did. Yes, I got a lovely highlights package of this game to watch. A glorious game played in a great spirit, celebrating the life of His Royal Highness, the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. They really gave him a show to remember him by putting on a fantastic game of soccer with 4 goals scored, and it was Wraith who took the lead early on. And it was a goal. It was a goal that was scored by Daniel Armstrong. It was. I'll tell you what. I've seen many goals in my life. It wasn't my goal of the week, but it was a goal. And then Wraith kind of were dominant for the first 70 minutes of the game. They got their second goal. Dan Armstrong again with the goal, and again another tidy finish from him, and then. Bang! Explosion. Arbroath finally realised, we're in a game here. 2 minutes later, Jack Hamilton, who again scored. He seems to be scores a lot for Arbroath. He's scored a lot for a lot of teams this season. 72 minutes. And then Dick Campbell rung the changes, made a double sub, then a single sub, and he got his reward with the equalising goal. Well, not him personally, he never scored the equalising goal, but his players did in the 84th minute. Through good old Ricky Little, the 32-year-old veteran for Arbroath. And Arbroath stole a point, but a massive point in the relegation battle.
Thank you. Billy obviously watched the highlights very intently.
I did, yes.
I enjoyed the game. I thought it was good. Or the highlights I enjoyed. But I think that's just because Wraith TV put on such a great show with their highlights packages anyway.
Wraith TV's always worth a
They
watch.
are top class.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
As far as championship highlight packages go, they're up there with the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least we can find those ones.
That's true.
Well, and it's not that we can't find them. Most of them are just hidden behind paywalls.
That's just as bad.
Trying to get extra money.
Yeah, if you want to see Air 1 and Fairland 1, you'll have to go and pay for that, please.
Yeah, no, that is free to watch.
It's almost as bad as charging for a player interview.
99p.
Wow.
Who does that?
Exactly.
Exactly. Who does do that?
I'm genuinely being serious.
Clubs in dire need of money, I
Rangers
think.
did it for a Ryan Kent interview when he signed his contract.
It was an exclusive interview.
Okay, that is quite tin pot. I never knew that, but that is quite tin pot.
Well, 70 million folk watched it. We still owe them.
That's quite sad.
You're kind of thinking during that 2-0 Wraith, but that's pretty good for them.
I mean, they were the dominant team, yeah.
Yeah, they well deserved their 2-goal lead, but fair play to Arbroath because I think they brought themselves back into it and they got themselves a couple of goals.
It's that never say die attitude that Dick Campbell has installed in them. Other teams, Ayr, would probably have just folded when they went 2-0 down.
100%.
But Arbroath have that fighting spirit to battle back into the game, even when it looks as bleak as it did for them.
That always comes with a team that's in a relegation battle. not so much a relegation battle, but fighting to try and avoid that playoff spot anyway. It's going to be a tough final few games for all Ayr, Arbroath and Morton, as they all picked up draws.
How many games
1
are
point
left?
separating the three of them. There's only 3 games
Three
left.
games left, is
No,
it?
yeah, 3 games left.
Jeez.
3 games left, and I believe Arbroath have to play Ayr and Morton in both of them in 2 of those games. So
I need to check that actually.
Yeah.
There was only one club picked up 3 points in the championship at the weekend, and it was Hearts, who, well, with other results there, they've now been confirmed as championship champions.
although they don't seem to want to accept that title.
No, I think they just want to. They want to move on. They want to get back to the Premiership and
And then next season go back down to the
play the big boys
championship.
again. Yeah. So obviously,
'Cause
as I
that
mentioned,
team they've got just now is going straight back down.
as I mentioned, Ayr drawn 1 each with Dunfermline, and then every other result was a draw. Dundee 1 each with Morton, and Queen of the South 1 each with Inverness.
You know, the one bloody week I don't pick 1-1s. And what happens?
True.
Fucking every 1-1 happens.
The 1 week I do pick 1-1s.
You just hate him, don't you? He's just
I'm done with this. I'm done with this predictions. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Premiership bound now, and Kelly hoping to keep themselves in the Premiership, and getting themselves a well needed point. I'd say at home to Ross County.
Both teams looking to stay in the Premiership, really.
Yep, it was Kelly's game to start with, but they just couldn't hold on to their first goal lead and conceded very quickly afterwards. They regained the lead again, and there was nothing really until after half time when Ross County equalised again. And I think it just sums up Kelly this season, that they twice went ahead in the game and twice weren't able to hold on to anything. For the first time being not be able to hold on to it for any time at all, and then when they just probably when they thought like, oh, let's go to get a grip of this in the second half, they concede again, and well, that's game for you.
Well, I mean, first 20 minutes, Kelly were, apart from conceding the goal, Kelly were actually very good. And then they must have flicked the shit switch, because the rest of the game they were absolutely dreadful. How Ross County didn't win that game, they should have won the game with the chances that they had. I'm at a complete loss.
I don't think their players could actually see because they'd been elbowed that many times. I think that was part of it.
Yes,
That's true.
Kyle Lafferty was throwing elbows in that game.
That is what he's good for, to be fair.
and scoring.
He'll pick up a couple of goals every now and then, but he's mainly brought in to throw the elbows about.
Is that what they sing about him? He's 7 foot, he throws elbows.
Yeah, that's how the song
About.
goes.
I think it's just the same old Kelly at this point.
Yeah, it's
They
just
the
nasty, horrible Kelly.
Like defensively, are just so amateur. Like the goals conceded were so preventable. Like positionally, just horrendous. I'm starting to sound like Billy the way I'm going on it about Kelly at this point, but
Nah, Billy was a lot more passionate, to be honest.
I mean, the first 20 minutes,
It was all the passion.
If I'm Tommy Ray, I'm worried. I'm really worried why that has dropped off so dramatically.
It's just no passion.
It wasn't as if it was like a slight 10-15 minute drop off, then they get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Second half, yeah, they'd won maybe 2 chances that were maybe they could have taken, but Ross County dominated the majority of the
Just no passion from any of the players.
30 minutes onwards.
The second goal they conceded, every single Kelly player's head just dropped, and then from that you're looking at it and you're thinking they're either drawing this or they're losing. There's no chance they're winning from this position. And they didn't.
Tommy Wright really had to say the full game was complaining about how much Yogi was complaining to the refs, which I feel like he was fair enough to complain to the refs though. So I think Tommy Wright was just trying to find excuses to why his team couldn't do better.
Well, maybe we'll do better. As I said, we've had this conversation about who's going to stay up this season. We'll hopefully see.
The The one thing I've got to say is I think I can't see Hamilton not finishing bottom now, and I can't see the team that finishes second bottom losing the playoffs against Wraith or Dunfermline or even Dundee, whatever team it's going to be in the final against. Those teams aren't good enough to beat even a poor Kelly and a poor Ross County just now.
But you never know. You never know.
It's a little toss-up in those games, though, because they could just have the game of their life.
I will go on record. I'm going to still stand by it. I think Hamilton will stay up.
Who do you have going down? Do you have Kelly going down?
I have Kelly going down.
Oh, yeah. I can't say that too much.
Games are 90 minutes, not 25, 30 minutes.
What would say?
Sorry.
Kelly definitely need to do better because out of the games that they've got some tricky games left. Like Hamilton, so obviously they're renowned for picking up points at the end of the season.
We say that in this run in this season, Hamilton in the last 18 games have only got 2 wins, and both of them were against Motherwell, which is who they're playing at the weekend. But
yeah, but
they need to beat.
It's Hamilton. They'll beat Kelly. They'll beat Kelly.
I have some sympathy though for Hamilton and Brian Rice, because there's been a number of occasions this season where Hamilton have been, in my opinion, blatantly cheated by the match officials. And he's got every right to be aggrieved by it.
Let's not get into
that. So wait,
that.
were you on the phone with him?
I was on the phone with him.
That is a very touchy subject at the moment, and just
So
yeah.
What I've got to say is that if Hamilton are to stay up, they need to go out and prove against Motherwell at the weekend, give a big performance, and kickstart for the last 4 games. Because I think Kelly will struggle against Dundee United at the weekend, and Big Lawrence will be looking to send Kelly down as a repayment to her.
Yeah. No, I think certainly Kelly need to sort of buck up their ideas a bit and sort of push for this, because they're not in a great position at the moment. And I mean, like a win and a draw kind of changes that. But
yeah, 12 points left to play for anyway. You stick.
So I mean, yeah, there's a fair amount to go in that sort of relegation battle.
So who's playing at the weekend? Kelly versus Dundee United, St Mirren, Ross County.
Yeah,
Hamilton, Motherwell.
So none of them are playing each other.
Yeah.
Yep. So bottom 6, we had Hamilton losing out 1-0 to Dundee United, and Motherwell beating St Mirren 1-0 as well.
I've actually just looked at the stats for the Hamilton game. They had 27 chances against Dundee United. They fair went for it.
They did. They played well. Brian Rice was very diplomatic in his post-match interview. They could have had a penalty. Probably was a penalty, but he was very diplomatic in his approach to responding to the question this time. He didn't go on a tirade like he has done in the past.
Keep calm.
10 days.
Keep calm and carry on.
But I think they've got enough quality in the team. They've been unlucky with a few key players been injured, but I think they've got the grit and determination to pull out of this. Yeah.
Elsewhere, well, that was bottom 6. Top 6. Drew's going to talk us through Rangers 2, Hibs 1.
Well, as always, I was there at
He was there,
courtesy of Rangers TV for $9.99.
He took the train up his stairs.
I'm not that heavy.
Otherwise known as his mum's stair lift.
I'm getting there, but I'm not that heavy just yet. Maybe next season. Yeah, it's quite an end-to-end game. First goal coming from Joe Aribo. I have no idea what Marciano is really doing with his save. I don't know if anyone else watched it, but he literally saves it right into the path of Joe Aribo. Like, he had such an opportunity, Marciano, just to palm it out wide to his right, that it wouldn't be in the path of any of the Rangers players, and just palmed it right to Rebo, took it in the volley, easy as you like. Yeah.
Before that, I was quite interested to see another angle of the offside one, because I don't know if Roof hadn't touched it where Morelos' initial shot was actually going in the net anyway.
At the time, I think it was going wide, but I'm not too sure. I think it was going wide, and obviously he was off a yard or two.
Yeah, it was a clear offside. It's just where it was going in the back of the net if Roof hadn't touched it or not.
Yeah. After that, I think Hibs had a couple of chances. Especially Martin Boyle played extremely well. I think he had Barisic on toast for the majority of the game. He made probably the best left
I don't think
back.
that would taste very
I
nice.
don't think it would taste very nice, but he had it and it was tasty for him apparently. He made Barisic look very ordinary, caused him a torrid time. The front three actually caused Rangers some problems at points with their movement. But one of my favourite tests was hopefully the two fullbacks for the future in Nathan Patterson and Josh Doig. Thought in the first half both of them were excellent, both going at each other, both being aggressive. It's great to see, hopefully for the future, to see what these guys can really do, because both of them could go to the very top. I didn't realise that Josh Doig was actually a year younger than Nathan Patterson, which is even better. He's got another year of development under his belt.
Mm-hmm.
So second half, Ryan Kent, what a goal. I don't know if it would be Bill's goal of the week or not. Takes it by three players, left-footed shot into the corner. Nice goal.
Average at best.
Good goal.
Average at
There wasn't
best.
very many
His,
good goals this week.
Weak foot. That takes it to 2-0. Then we have the corner incident. So ball comes in from a corner and Ryan Porteous headers it. It's well saved by McGregor and then heads the follow-up. At the time, I didn't see a foul. I'm convinced I still don't really see a foul. But I do see the ref, who I forget actually refereed it off the top of my head. I think it was Nick Walsh, but not entirely sure. It wasn't Nick Walsh according to Billy. Anyway, we'll move on. The ref has got two fingers up, which signifies there was two fouls in and around the box for that incident. I'm not sure on who. I'm thinking Hollander, perhaps, but again, I would suggest it's very soft.
I think Hollander got caught up in his own player more than anything. He kind of collided with each other, and that's what Hollander made Hollander go to the ground anyway.
Can I just take a step back? I'm going to disagree with your saying that it was well saved by McGregor. I'd say it was a very poor save. He gets himself in front of it and he hams it like up in the air so Porteous can just come onto it. It's, I mean, terrible from someone that they claim as being the best goalkeeper in the country. It's not very good at all.
17%
No. But that was. I'm just saying that it wasn't a good save. It was a terrible save.
I think it's one of those ones where, similar to the Marciano one, you have to try and get that one to safety, and
put it over the bar, put it out to the side.
The bar and, I'm not sure. Like, I've seen it from two different angles, and I'm still not convinced there's any fouls in there. But you don't.
I couldn't see one.
See an angle that would suggest there's a foul. So I don't know. Referee seen it.
It would be interesting to hear like or get an explanation of why.
Just have had a different angle where you could have like properly seen it. I know it's difficult, whatnot, but it would have been interesting. Then one of my favourite players who plays for another team. I was going to say your favourite
player scored.
Cracking header. Ball comes in from Paul McGinn.
I thought it was Kevin Nisbet, not Cracking header.
Oh, well, that's where you're wrong. Cracking header scored the Kevin Nisbet apparently.
And we'll be looking for Cracking header to get called up to the Scotland squad after that.
Yeah, great header. He had a couple of chances early on that McGregor either saved or was close, and just kept working at it and looked one over McGregor. McGregor does get a slight hand to it, but it was a good header. I don't think he could have done much more. Then made the game a cagey affair for the last quarter of an hour. not really any other chances apart from that. It kind of died out a wee bit and then just became a KG affair. Another win for Rangers. 4 games now away from being undefeated for the season in the league.
Can't see them not doing that. I've said that for a good while now. One thing I've got to say about the game is the way Hibs lined up. They didn't try and sit back and defend. They actually went for it and played 3 attacking players, and the 2 strikers with Martin Bowen behind them. That is Martin Bowen's best position, where he's got that freedom to roam across wherever he pleases behind the strikers. He can go left or right.
I forgot to mention,
or he can go straight through.
Martin Boyle did get booked in the first half for simulation. I don't think it's a booking for simulation, personally, because I do think there's slight contact. I don't think it's a penalty, but I do think he should be booked for simulation.
I think that's what Martin Boyle needs to watch. He doesn't build up a reputation for that, because that's a few times he's been caught out diving this season so far.
Yeah, I've seen it as well. You can tell he knows what he's doing. I feel like he knows what he's doing when he goes down because he feels a bit of contact. So I feel like it's almost one of those grey areas where he definitely could probably stay on his feet, but he has been touched, at least somewhat. So I don't know what camp that falls under.
I don't know. Some pundits would call it a smart player, and some pundits would just call it cheating. I mean, because like in English football all the time, like they're like, "Oh, it's just really smart from so and so," and it's like, well, is it, or is it just a dive?
Depends if it's an English striker or not.
You can tell.
It's Harry Kane. It's a smart play.
Smart as fuck.
Guys like, for example,
if it's Mo Salah, it's a smart play as well. Apparently,
Kamar Roof, Edward, etc. A lot of them who have played in other leagues and have had experience of stuff know when to play for the foul, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
True. I never seen it, so yeah, no
Billy,
comment.
are you going to talk? I feel like
I was actually just rewatching the 2 incidents in question.
He keeps looking like he's going to say something and just doesn't.
Before I
He's
gave
trying
my
to work out how to defend the referees, even he doesn't have to defend the referees anymore.
The Martin Boyle one is for me is incorrect. Not a penalty, but not simulation. I feel like we've reached a culture in football now, particularly what we see in the Premier League week in, week out now, where players are, and I'm not afraid to use this word, players are deliberately cheating to try and win penalties, win free kicks, and there's a culture of cheating now within the top level of the game, which is making the game, in my opinion, at times horrible to watch. For the least bit of contact, players go down, rolling around, screaming, moaning at everything. And I think this is where we've now reached a crossroads in which that we are now just going to caution everything for simulation if we don't think it's a penalty because we think a player's cheating. They may be, they may not be. The foul, I'll use in inverted commas. There is a very, 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 very slight nudge from Porteous on Hollander. But if that's a foul, take the ball and leave the pitch because we're all going home. There is a minuscule bit of contact, not enough to stop, to make the big man go down in such a dramatic fashion that he did. Seemed a tad dramatic to me. Not a foul, should have been a goal. But hey ho, these are decisions that are made.
Hollander's perhaps using his experience to go down.
Okay, so he's cheating.
Knowing, just like you said, using his experience to go down, knowing fine well he wasn't going to win the header.
Yeah, and the referees bought it, so there you go.
I think that's all she wrote for that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that brings us finally to the other side of Glasgow, where Celtic surprisingly, well, I was a bit surprised anyway, with a extremely dominant win over Livingston, 6-0 in the end. I've just got to say, like, it was one of those games, like, where it took a wee while to sort of get into it, and then eventually get the breakthrough with the first goal. But once it came, it just felt like it was never ending for Livingston. It was just sheer like pain, non-stop.
6-0 could have been more. Robbie made a good few saves.
I was going to say, yeah, Robbie made a couple of decent saves before the first goal, and then James Forrest picks up the ball, and a bit of a sclaff with his left foot. It looked a bit like, but maybe he was playing for it like that because he does sort of
Robbie off. I think he expected more
Yeah.
power on it and dived thinking it'd be more
yeah, and
powerful.
it just kind of like goes under him and right into the bottom corner. James Forrest isn't known for having a left foot, so we'll give it to him that he's maybe missed it a bit, but he's getting confidence and he's getting a few goals again. So certainly an interesting one to watch over the next few weeks. With Scottish Cup, and if Celtic can advance, then certainly like he could have a good few games in this sort of run in before the Euro squad announcement, and could end up potentially getting his name on the list.
Yeah, it just all depends how bad his injury is.
Yeah, did pick up a wee injury, but nothing's really been said about it since. So I'm assuming that it's nothing major. Maybe just like, don't know, a knock or something. But we'll see. We'll see what they say. Another man who'll be vying to get his name in the Scotland squad, David Turnbull. He pops up with a second. I think this will be Billy's goal of the week.
Yeah, I was going to say his definite does goal of the week, surely.
Well, yes, this is my goal of the week. I'm not going to argue with it. It is an absolute peach.
I don't know how he did it, Bill. Do you know what I mean? The overhead kick, it was unbelievable.
Nah, very funny. I'm not gonna fall for that.
From you know what, from that far out, you couldn't have blamed him if he hadn't scored. But
he to put that in.
He had the composure to just put it away neatly.
Nearly put a hole in the net.
I nearly put a hole in the net. Yeah,
I'm sure
in all fairness, it was really good play down the left hand side there. Just like the movement and his movement as well, because I think he has a pass earlier on in the move, and he immediately just like goes straight line, bombs into the box, and he doesn't stop. He keeps going, and then he asks for it, and the cross is slightly deflected off. I don't know who it's off one of the defenders.
Straight over McCrory as well.
It goes straight over McCrory. I think it probably would have gone over McCrory anyway. And it comes to David Turnbull, who has made a storm and run, and he just taps it home.
I think that's what Celtic's missing. Well, I say missing. Obviously, Turnbull's now turned up. Having a guy that can make those runs from midfield into the box and being there and being in and about, whether it's the edge of the box or going into the box, like he's sensational.
Another man who's been sensational recently, Scott Brown. He'll feel aggrieved that he wasn't credited with this goal, but it was given as an own goal.
It was going wide.
Probably correctly.
It was going wide.
It was going so far wide. But yeah, that will have hurt Livingston to concede an own goal just right after half time, and like that was game over really at that point. And then
he did say to Marvin Barkley, "I hope you'll analyse that in Sports Scene." Or something along those lines, apparently.
It's one of the worst headers I've ever seen.
It was deflected as well.
Oh, dear.
You got to feel bad for them, but hey ho, that's football. And then comes along Norwegian sensation Mohamed Elyoudeucey with the first of his double, and I'll just say right now, if Celtic are listening, buy the man, just buy him, just fucking buy him. Unbelievable. I mean, he's on really good form at the moment. don't get me wrong, but he's scored something like 18 goals for the season now.
Yeah, 10 in the league now.
I think. Yeah, so well worth one to keep looking at. And at the rumored price tag is what, 5 million?
5 or 6 in it. I can't remember.
Yeah, you'd be hard pushed to convince me that sort of like to not go for him.
Especially under like a new manager.
Well, that's what I said in the last week. Under a new manager, like he could be a different animal completely. Not that like he's good at the moment, so fair enough. His first goal was assisted by John Joe Kenny, who I thought had, just from watching like extended highlights, I thought he had an absolute cracking game. Probably his best since he's come to the club. I just don't know if I've seen enough to warrant bringing him back next season, but he's been solid enough. I'll give him that.
I thought he was alright. Fair enough, the Old Firm wasn't the best advert of how good I thought he was, but I feel like in every game I've seen him, besides the Old Firm, he has looked fine. Like he's not been great.
It's not anything special, but he's fine.
I don't know. I'd still like to sign someone else for the position.
Yeah, same. That's like I said. Like I've said before, I think we can do better. But hey ho. Elyoudeucey then gets the next goal, and it's an absolutely thundering run from Christopher Ayer from his own half. He just gets given the space and strolls past men in the midfield, and well, he was a midfielder previously, but to allow a centre half to get so much space and move so freely is insanely like naive from Livingston.
He didn't even really challenge him. He just sort of...
No, that's what I'm saying. He's got previous form for this. He's done this before, and he brings it to the edge of the other box and maybe takes it a few yards too far, but it doesn't matter because he passes through to Elyoudeucey, who just manages to finish quite nicely over McCrory, who I felt bad for. I felt bad for Robbie because he made some good saves, but he was kind of sold absolutely rotten by his defence.
Yeah, probably
for most of the day. And I've seen a few people complaining on Twitter about the last goal, Ryan Christie, because they had 5-0 on their coupons. They weren't very happy about that. It did make it 6-0, and then decent goal from Ryan. After his goal last week, and he kind of continues that.
Starting to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah, that's the one.
That haters.
Take that, haters.
He did well though. It was a nice little run from him, and he created the space for the shot and the ball.
It's that time of the season though. Like, is he just picking up a bit of form to try and wrangle a good move? You never know.
This season he's had five goals and 8 assists in the league. So I mean, decent enough numbers considering the guy has been heavily criticised.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still a really good player. That's the thing.
I think he's.
Seem to forget how good he was last season, just in general. Like, he's
I still rate the guy.
He's still putting numbers up. So
I rate the guy quite highly. Like, he's one of the best passers of the ball in the league. Or like, see on his day as well. It's like he can just pick out a man so easily.
Yeah.
Granted, some of his set piece plays a bit ropey, but
yeah, no.
And his shooting.
For the advanced midfielders and the strikers, it must have been a tough year because we were losing every there was a lot of time we were losing every midfield battle, and we couldn't get the ball away from the defense, and it just makes it so much harder for the guys up top. Like if you're playing that number 10, and you're not getting anything on the ball, and it finally comes to you, you think, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna hit a shot because it's the only time I'm gonna get the ball," and you do that 100 times a game.
Can I just stop us for a second and ask a question? Is Craig gone grayscale for anyone else?
Oh, I've gone grayscale for me as well. Don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. No, I was just checking.
A bit under
Checking
the
it wasn't
weather.
me. He doesn't look very well.
Oh, there we go.
You look a bit pale.
Oh, he's back. A bit of colour back in his skin now. Yeah, I mean, it's typical Celtic to sort of pick up performances after there's none to play for, isn't it?
We've still got a cup.
But
win.
Yeah, hopefully still got a
Yes.
cup run. We'll see. Big game
See,
coming up at the
I
weekend.
see that the
And that.
cup game has been moved to next Sunday.
Yeah, which is a load of shite because that means I can't drink.
They've moved it to the Sunday and they've moved the Aberdeen game to the Saturday.
Embarrassing.
Because they couldn't
What?
afford to. Because they can't put the. They don't think they can put the Celtic Rangers game on the Old Firm game that is, sorry, later on in the day. Because that means that people will be drinking all day, which could cause fights or something along those lines.
Oh, bugger off. Bugger right
It's
off.
why the Old Firm games are always earlier in the day. Even though
But what? It was
4
set for a
o'clock
4
on
p.m.
Saturday. Yeah, and the Aberdeen game is 5 o'clock on Saturday, which would what time the Celtic game would have been. So
Why couldn't it not be an hour later? I don't understand.
I don't know the shambles. I don't know why they couldn't have put it at 12 o'clock on the Saturday at the same time as all the.
But that's the
the
thing.
EFL
See, for them,
games.
am I right in thinking that for them to rearrange a game that both teams have to agree to it?
I
Yeah,
believe so, yeah.
So, well, maybe Celtic want it to be on the Sunday as well. Then
No.
weird.
I think.
I don't know. I mean, it's a long travel home. If they're traveling home after like 7 o'clock
It's
on
a
Saturday,
long.
think of that.
That's a long way. Yeah.
After Celtic's
move.
result tees up very nicely for what could be a defining game. Well, obviously, a big, massive Old Firm game could.
Big, massive game.
I mean, it could define Celtic and or
No.
Rangers season.
I agree. It's a huge game to have. Well, so early in the cup,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I look forward to it.
Yep. Hopefully it's a good game. But obviously, me and Matt will feel differently come next week. Me and Matt will feel differently from Dure come next week.
Hopefully.
Hopefully Drew can't come on the podcast because he's too busy crying.
Well, you will feel different.
We will. No, yeah, we will. It's not
team is
hopefully.
going So one lot of you is
Still
going to be
penalties.
upset at the result.
No, that's fine. If we go,
Yeah, we'll be sitting here on next Monday like, we're still watching the penalties after 400 penalties.
if Celtic lose, I'm going to play the good old fashioned. We can focus on the league.
Yep.
Yep,
fine.
And if Celtic win, then Rangers can play the good old fashioned. We'll focus on the league.
Didn't want to be at it anyway.
Didn't want to be in the cup anyway.
Say it now.
Shite,
It's a
tin
Diddy
pot.
Cup. There we go.
Diddy Cup.
We can say it now.
Mickey Mouse Trophy.
It's not
Um,
a
The
Petrofac
only
Cup.
real trophy in Scotland is the Petrofac Training Coffee. You're right.
Rangers
Kofi.
have already
Well
won
done.
the double this year with the league and the Viola Cup.
So
So they've already achieved
So-
it all.
I've got a big announcement. Is that Billy has after gloating so much, he's now found himself tied bottom in the predictions league.
Oops, sorry.
You know what?
After a dismal week from Billy
okay.
with only 8 points.
Okay, I may be shite at this,
Tragic.
but you know what?
Tragic.
I'm class at
Tragic.
real betting.
Tragic.
You also lost that this week, Bill.
Yeah, one
we did.
one game, right? One game. I'm still out
So
in front
predictions.
like a horse.
Predictions for the midweek games. We do realise that we missed our midweek podcast last week. You can blame Matt for that because I've got glandular fever.
Just to clarify, I'm still a bit ill and I'm sort of struggling with my voice.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask.
All,
Yeah.
all we had to
Okay.
listen to yesterday was someone say, "Oh, I'm so rough.
Yeah,
And that
Matt.
wasn't the person that was
Bloody
actually
hell!
ill.
Why were you,
Post-
Matt? Why were you drinking? Why were you drinking with glandular
I'm not
fever?
allowed to, actually.
One of these podcasts will find out if Fer can
Right.
actually say glandular fever or not.
Glandular
Glang,
fever.
glang, 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 glang.
Right.
That's
Anyway,
not very nice to people who have
predictions.
stutters, I think you'll find.
Predictions. There's 2 games. We have Dunfermline v Dundee, and Craig's going to say 1 each.
Yeah, I was actually going to say one each, so we'll go with that.
I'm guessing Billy's going to say one each. He's regretted not having his one eaches last week.
No, I would say 0-0.
The same thing.
No.
Drew's going to buck the trend and he's going to say a Dundee win.
I'm actually going to say Dunfermline win 2-1.
Oh. It's Matt's turn. Oh, I can't even guess.
I'm going 1-0 Dundee.
See, I was just thinking one each the whole time. I'll just go with it. I'll go with one each. It's gonna be a terrible game. Yeah. And the other game is Queen of the South Wraith.
And it'll also be one each.
Bold decision.
I'm going to go for 2-2.
Drew can't handle it.
I can. 3-1 to Wraith.
3-1 to Wraith. And Matt?
1. Yeah.
1-1.
1-1. A one each draw. Thank you, Matt. Took your time. And I did have this written down before Drew. Someone else probably can confirm, but it is 3-1 to Wraith. I've also put down.
I might change mine now.
Well, you're not going to catch Jure if you copy what he does, Ferg, are you?
But I went before him. And also I put a one each draw in the first game, so get up you. And that's all, folks. Oh wait, no, it's not. St Johnstone lost to Aberdeen 1-0. There you go. That's all, folks.
There we are.
And Matt's gonna say goodbye.
Oh, we didn't even say about the standings of the predictions table.
No
We
one
did.
needs to know
We said
about
that Billy's in the
standings.
bottom.
Oh, that's fine.
We said that Billy's joint bottom, and that's all that matters.
There's only 4 teams in the running for this anyway.
True.
4
Right, well.
teams.
Hope everyone
Four people.
has a good run in for the rest of the week, these midweek fixtures. And as always, if you want to try and beat our scores, send them in.
Sure.
As always, thanks for listening. Blair, if you're still here, thanks for listening. I hope Kelly stay up.
I don't.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, but no.
Just say goodbye.
Bye.
Billy,
Goodbye.
Craig,
Goodbye.
and from me, I hope everyone's enjoyed their weekend, and stay safe this week as restrictions start to ease ever so slightly more. And we'll see you next time out. Goodbye and God bless. Jesus fucking Christ.